I'm your dopest host, Elda, and our special guest today, I say is Rick Ross' little cousin. I call him doctor. He's not a doctor yet, but it's your boy Jacy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. Mighty fine. Not a doctor at all, but definitely a street doctor.
I love this guy. So before we do get into the conversation, men need love to go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how can they find you?
Oh man, first of all, I am Jacy Jean. I'm a father of one. I got a beautiful daughter that I take care of, that I'm there for sure. I'm single. I'm single. I'm currently a logistics manager for a cement company, and I'm also actually starting my own trucking business as we speak. So there's a lot happening right
now. Okay. And how can they find you?
They can find me at Dr. J_speaks on Instagram, as well as my podcast, Real Talk with Real Men, podcast on Instagram as well, and Twitter.
Make sure y'all see the handles at the bottom, so be sure to follow him. Okay, listen guys, I'm excited to have this man on today's episode, okay, because his mind is very, very intriguing. And once you start to follow him on his platforms or you tune into his podcast, you will see why. All right, so friend, this is an organic conversation, all right? And this is conversations for the mature.
Okay.
All right? And this season, we're talking about men need love too. All right? Now, when I came to you and asked you about, coming on and having this conversation with me, men need love too, what is the first thing that came to your mind?
The first thing that came to my mind when I got the text, it was really lack of expression, and I mean that from a man's point of view. When needing love, because we don't express that, we internalize a lot of those things. So when I first heard, I was like, "Dang, man, she going heavy with it." She started off with a bang. But the first thing that I did think about was the fact that it's a lack of expression from a man's point of view, because we don't really express that. We don't express that we don't need love, or that we need love for that matter. It's something that we do internalize when it comes to our feelings and our thoughts, and so much more. So for me, I was kind of like stuck because I couldn't even express it. But yeah, that's where I was at.
Okay, so let me ask you this: why do you think it's so difficult for men to express that they need love?
If I could say this, and this is just based off my experience. First of all, I'm an expressive guy. So you're gonna know how I feel, when I'm feeling it, when it happened, when it don't, whatever the case may be. I'm a very expressive guy, but I think from a man's point of view, when it comes to not being able to express ourselves, it has a lot to do with our masculinity. Our masculinity overpowering our sensitivity. It has to do with us not being or feeling like we are a man. But I think the main important thing too is the fact that a lot of people have a hard time understanding a communication language when it comes to a man's heart. So when it comes to that, there's just a lot. Like I often feel like men are actually more complicated than women. And we ain't gonna try to go there too much, but
wait a minute.
but if I could digress here, it's we internalize things because we want to be able to deal with it on our own. The fact of needing help, or the fact of not feeling that I can handle this, is what kind of burdens us. So we internalize it, we keep it in, we got this, even when we don't.
But why is that? Especially if in the scenario you have a supportive significant other or a supportive friend, You get what I'm saying? Like, why is it still so hard if the other person is willing to help you, but still not stripping you away from your masculinity? You understand what I'm saying? Like, why?
I think it has a lot to do with, there's so many variables to this. It's not a one-way street. A lot of it can have to do with family issues, can have to do with trauma. Mm-hmm. It may have to do with his experiences with past relationships or even issues with family. So it's not a one-way street. But I think when it comes down to it, it's just feeling like it's hard to really express, mm-hmm. but it's like, I gotta know that I can do this alone. And I think there's nothing wrong with having support. There's nothing wrong with being able to have somebody on your side to support you. Mm-hmm. But I think the fact of, it's a control issue. It's to say that I got this regardless if I got help or not. Mm-hmm. And you helping may kind of make me feel like I don't got this. Mm-hmm. And it takes a lot to get that mind frame. So I think we kind of cage ourselves into feeling like we can do it alone, even when we have somebody with us. So I think it's a control thing that we have, but there's definitely ways to break that.
Wow. I'm at a loss of words because he said so much. He said so much. Okay, so let me ask you, as a woman, what are ways that I can be there for my significant other or my brother? I don't have a son yet, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What is something from a man's perspective that will help us women to understand men in that sense when it comes to, them doing it by themselves without us having to flip out the mouth or be nagging or be you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what is an advice that you can give us women, mature women, let's keep it real, sure. Mature women, like what?
If I could say anything, and it can go both ways, it's to listen and not just hear. Don't hear to respond, but listen to understand. I think the other thing too is being able to understand your significant other communication language. The same way you talk to your brother may not be the same way you can talk to your husband or your boyfriend or whoever that person may be. I think we lack that a lot in our relationships with people, with men, with women, whatever the case may be. We have to be able to understand and learn the different communication languages in our relationship. Yeah,
that's true. Because how you may be able to communicate with me is not how it works with you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people really do miss that. Like they really, really miss that. And I'm not coming from our women, but we miss that.
Yeah, for sure.
You get what I'm saying? And I think that it goes back to even the love language.
Yeah.
A lot of people misunderstand what the love language is.
Very true.
Because if I like gifts, that don't mean I give you gifts.
Yeah.
That's not your love language. Your love language might be quality time.
Exactly.
But I digress from that topic. That's a whole other topic on its own. So, you guys, we're going to go ahead and take a short commercial break, okay? And we're going to continue this conversation with Mr. Jacy. We'll be right back. All right.
Today's episode is sponsored by E2E, Evolve to Empower, building confidence while enhancing self-love and self-worth for girls between the ages of 11 and 14. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Evolve to Empower.
All right, welcome back to EP. I'm your dopest host, Elda, and we have our special guest, Mr. Jacy. If you are just now tuning in, I'm gonna need you to go back and listen, because baby, we are having a conversation. So, Mr. Jacy, how important is a woman's love and the ability to hold you accountable to your vision?
Wow. It's not just important for me, it's detrimental. I think.
Wait, say that again.
It's not just important to me, it's detrimental.
My God.
It's something that I must have. It's a need and not just a want for me when it comes to that. I think oftentimes when we think about relationships and we think about love and the weight of it, if there's anything that holds it together, it's accountability.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's something that I have to have. Like, it's a necessity to who I am. It allows me to move forward. It allows me to see things in myself that I don't see. So it's detrimental for me.
Okay, so with that being said, those moments that I would say you waver in doubt, or you may not be, or you may be having those mental battles where you're going back and forth, and she holds you accountable, and she repeats to you what you said.
Yeah.
How do you handle that without feeling like she's nagging?
Yeah.
Or coming at you sideways? You understand what I'm saying? How do you handle that?
I mean, I handle it with maturity. I think it's all based on how it's being communicated. Because you can get some people who, they say it in a way to throw it in your face.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's being communicated properly, I just got to nip it in the bud. I just got to take it for what it is. Because at that moment, I realized I'm facing self. Mm-hmm. She's only reminding me of the vision that I have for myself. Mm-hmm. So with her being able to do that, or being in that position where she's just letting me know, there's nothing better than a woman being able to remind you, hold you accountable in the things you see in yourself. There's nothing better than that. Mm. So I think that's very extremely important, and I'm gonna handle it like a man. It only makes me feel like a man more. Because if I'm in a relationship where I have a significant other and they're not holding me accountable, or they're not reminding me of my plans, my vision, or just letting me know exactly what I need to do, or holding me accountable, it lets me know that you don't believe in me. Mm-hmm. That's as deep as it's gonna get for me. So accountability is something that is definitely important, but more so detrimental.
Mm. Wow. What do you say after that? I'm going to drop those handles for you again, ladies, because my God. So we're going to go ahead and give you the floor for 15 seconds to give your advice on the topic of men need love too. So talk to our sisters.
Sisters, if I could say anything that's very important is be able to understand and learn how to communicate with your man. Not just understand or, who he is and just say I'm good with it, but take your time to study him. It is very much important that you are able to take your time to fully learn who somebody is. Never stop learning your mate. The moment you stop learning your mate, you get comfortable.
And there you have it. I thank you guys once again for tuning into EP. I'm your dopest host, Elda. Until next time, remember, you have victory on every side.